Hey, this is I Love episode 5. I Love The Rizzler. Enjoy. Well, theming is extremely important to me, and therefore, in the week of romance, as Valentine's Day beckons, who better to discuss and show my most authentic escapade into gratitude yet with than the King of Love himself, Don Rizzler. There's a level of earnestness found in submitting oneself to a parasocial relationship with the Rizzler, especially in comparison to the hazy sea set to drown you that the rest of social media and online discourse tends to offer. Absent of forays into irony, into pessimism, or even criticism. Normally, even ideally in reality, these can be useful when applied appropriately, but given the prevalence of these in contemporary society, the overwhelming, overstimulating amount of fear-mongering, antagonization, and desperately dejected and defeatist exaggeration, this unfathomably hopeful variance being a beacon of authentic joy beckons an intense gravity. To be totally honest, I can't really peg down precisely where this comes from either though. This distinctly is not another case of getting my dopamine hit and absorbing more empty calorie content. He resonates with me on a deeper level, which I find fascinating. When he does an ad, it's cool, it's not forced, it's fun, it's not schlocky. I get these similar lasting feelings from a Rizzler appearance that I do from moments from my favorite artists. It's not slop. I feel a genuine craftsmanship and effort. Maybe it's an active effort in, despite all the fame and business, just allowing a kid to be a kid, which is, beautiful in a sense, especially when it's not what you expect in this environment. He was never trained. He often appears to be lost at sea when he's placed in certain interviews with these people he doesn't know, being asked questions he doesn't get, and it'd make me genuinely sad if it was upsetting the guy, but even sweeter, he doesn't get upset. He's just generally confused or unengaged, which is in some fascinating way acknowledgeably nice to see, because he's like 10. The Rizzler always just ends up wanting to go home, play with his toy, and play Fortnite, because he's 10, he's a little guy. That's up for debate. He feels like a vessel into reality, illuminating real by virtue of both being this star, a celebrity who has been across the whole rainbow of campaigns, as well as this kid who comes out the other side of that and continues to just be. He is facadeless, he is gameless, he is unfettered, he is legitimate. There's a real sense of innocence to it, and it's pure. It's beautifully pure. He went on Jimmy Fallon, and rightly so, the response to that was a 2 million view body language analysis that made complete sense. I watch that often. I think about that often. It's a charisma study. That's important. And it reiterates my main thesis. Nothing controls the Rizzler but the natural tides of childhood. He's just living a life, and yet you can see precisely how he controls a room, why his presence has sustained, and there are no signs that would deter him from a LeBron type of longevity. My connection to the Rizzler can be addressed in 2 parts. First, when I fell for him, and second, when he became solidified as one of the greats. Let's go back. Wintertime or summertime, or more ambiguously rainy or dry season respectively, depending on where you are in the world, but specifically August of 2024. About a year and a half ago to date this video, when Sally Slice's pizza shop was being invaded by the New Jersey Mafia. On this day, the Costco guys used the Rizzler as a battering ram. I lost my mind. I was in class in legal studies. A friend shows it to me, and I went crazy. I'm a very composed guy, you see, nice and notch. But like Spider-Man Far From Home and High Top Films, this broke me. I was back of the room cracking up. The only words able to come out of my mouth through exhausted speak pipes gasping for air as my eyes teared up and I tried to swallow to compose myself were, they used the Rizzler as a battering ram, until I fell back into this panting-inducing laughter. The type of laughter you can only fall into when stars truly align. When this moment of pure hilariousness is meant to be. It tickles your soul. And what's better than that? It's the type you can never forget. They just picked little bro up and yammed the New Jersey Mafia at the store. Like, what the fuck? It was so pure. I remember our teacher didn't even care. She was only incredibly curious. And that again plays into this notion that the Rizzler motion is so special. Had that moment been almost rightfully spoiled by me having to calm down, to not fully let the preceding emotions of that moment run wild, that connection between my mind, body, and soul wouldn't have been as fluid, as fully realized. But in this moment of bliss, they got to be. The solidification of greatness came through later that year. On the 18th of October, I was lying in bed, already comforted by the warmth and serenity that offered me on an extremely wet day, when I opened Instagram, and what bequeathed me was the most miraculous, immaculate, glory-filled reel pull of my entire life. The Rizzler, starring in a black and white autoristic ad for a company I still don't really understand, in Air, alongside Kareem, the guy who interviews people on the New York subway. I mean, this matchup doesn't make sense. It's unexpected. It's such a firm contrast, but not in a neat way. It's like, what's going on? But in all the mess and the confusion, I was stunned, locked in a trance, so engrossed in what I was watching that it might have replayed for hours, or not even at all. I just couldn't tell you. This one's for the dreamers. That's what they told me. And from that day forward, I've only been able to dream and manifest. This solidified everything that needed to become true. He had transcended from fighter to thought maker, from comedian to curator, from influencer to ideal chaser. All for what, though? Was this all just a ploy? Is the gimmick revealing itself? Is this another bit? And in some ways, maybe. But for the truth of it, the essence of it, no, not at all. As this young man dressed up like Steve Jobs travelled around a basketball court in monochrome, it was all revealed with great awe. This is just what the Rizzler does, who he is. This was simply for the love of the game. And I'm not alone in this sentiment. In fact, this advertisement will go on to win a genuinely prestigious award at the largest influencer award ceremony on the planet, as he accepted the Webby for Best Social Video at the 29th Annual Emmys back in 2025, as well as the Webby Audience Award, beating out Apple and Squarespace as other top contenders. Like, what the fuck is going on there? And this is no laughing matter, though, as much as I giggle, but purely from joy. Simply, the Rizzler had taken the leap to legend. I mean that sincerely, honestly. The level of pure positivity Mr. Joseph instills, in me at least, goes far beyond a joke or a face. I mean, the kid is simply pure and utter charisma, entering a flow state type of trance when in a moment that actually matters or resonates with him. He's naturally so engrossing, captivating beyond the gimmicks, beyond the what you would have expected to be the most run-of-the-mill, predictable 15 minutes of fame ever. But he has long surpassed that mark, because with him it was never capturing a once-in-a-lifetime fleeting moment. It was just witnessing someone so undeniably likable, and capturing that. He's ever present, he's relaxed, he hangs free, he smiles, he laughs, he owns every room he enters, and then performs within it. But only under the spotlight does he perform, when the call of action is made. But otherwise, he's no performer. Simply a leader in positivity, in being. It's quite spiritual if you really allow yourself to connect with the Rizzler. And I think that taps into, tapping into one's childlike wonder. It's something we lose with time. But he almost acts as this vessel to maintain that. And something we should all strive to do. He's the type of entity that brings a comfort and safety that is matched by few others. Only really in the same echelon as the idealistic concept of Cameron Green, tempo shooting in NBA 2K26, and dreams of a true-to-form live-action interpretation of Dick Grayson. And these comparisons and their almost outlandishness highlight why attempts for me to examine what the Don Rizzler effect actually is are soon squandered, why I quickly become lost for words. It is simply due to the truth that the only comparison I can make in this day are mythical, unreal, the stuff of fantasy and legend, the lore of great stories and hypotheticals, the outcome of philosophical debate, not an ever-present, intangibly tangible celebrity. There was no way for a Rizzler archetype to rise in the past. And nowadays, where the possibility is present, the form of the world has long laughed at the concept, and yet he stands with such flagrance against all odds. The Rizzler is. The Rizzler is. I believe that to be where my admiration for the kid comes through most prevalently. His ability to just be and just do almost whatever he wants in a time where now more than ever, vision is skewed, every move is hyper-fixated on, and there's simply less room to breathe. He breathes with fluency, and it's a life-giving breath. It's inspirational, and genuinely so. Maybe all I can do now is quote that air ad one last time. I suppose that might provide me with the most adequate description of this serendipitous situation. I believe it wraps this Rizzler up quite nicely, tying all these themes together. We don't fit into your idea of what normal is. That's because we don't think outside the box. We destroy it. I mean, how potent is that? And he also happens to be the godfather and the leader of the Italian mafia, and therefore any negative rhetoric directed towards or implying Don Rizzler should be dealt with swiftly and effectively. Thanks, Riz. Thank you for listening to I Love The Rizzler. Leave a like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, whatever your proclivity. Just remember, you are my proclivity. Thank you.